amazing in there. I know. Just do that.
Grey's Anatomy Season 22 kicked off with chaos, heartbreak, and a devastating loss that has fans reeling. The premiere episode, airing October 9th, confirmed the death of Dr. Monica Beltran, played by Natalie Morales. Her tragic end came after last season's catastrophic hospital explosion, and now the fallout begins. Showrunner Meg Marinis revealed to The Hollywood Reporter that killing off Monica was one of the hardest decisions she's ever made, saying she wanted to portray a character dying selflessly to save others. Marinis admitted she cried during the call to Morales, praising the actress's warmth and talent. The shocking death also left emotional ripples for Amelia and Jules, promising deep character arcs this season. Morales herself told THR she was sad but excited to have such a dramatic Grey's exit, calling it fun in the most Grey's Anatomy way. Meanwhile, Ellen Pompeo's Meredith Grey remains part of the story, splitting time between Boston and Seattle. Though her appearances will be limited, Meredith will stay central to the hospital's recovery and her groundbreaking Alzheimer's research. "The more we get Ellen, the happier I am," Marinis told TV Line. As for the show's future, will there be a season 23? ABC hasn't renewed it yet, but both Marinis and creator Shonda Rhimes say they're not planning an ending anytime soon. With Grey's Anatomy already the longest-running medical drama in U.S. history, the team seems eager to keep it going. Episode 2, titled We Built the City, airs next week and will feature the emotional return of Maggie Pierce to help a grieving Amelia, ensuring that the legacy of Grey Sloan Memorial continues to evolve through heartbreak, healing, and hope. Hey lovely viewers, welcome to our channel Grey's Anatomy Official. 3 updates on Grey's Anatomy Season 22 after shocking premiere death. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 storms back with a jaw-dropping explosion that leaves everyone guessing who will survive. Ellen Pompeo's Meredith Grey takes center stage in the aftermath, though her appearances will be limited as her character splits time between mentoring interns and working on critical research. The shocking premiere doesn't hold back, delivering a heartbreaking death as pediatric surgeon Monica Beltran succumbs to her injuries during the blast, shaking up the lives of those around her. Cast changes and the threat of more exits keep both fans and the show's stars on their toes, with no one truly safe as the medical drama charts a bold new course amid high-stakes storytelling and emotional breakups. Grey's Anatomy EP defends killing spoiler in Season 22 premiere. I wanted to see someone die selflessly when crafting the Grey's Anatomy Season 22 premiere, which picked up in the immediate aftermath of an explosion at Grey Sloan Memorial. Showrunner Meg Marinis was given the unenviable task of deciding which beloved hospital staffer wouldn't live to see Episode 2. After all, it doesn't have as much of an impact if everyone is saved, Marinis explains to The Hollywood Reporter. Virtually every character was on the chopping block, but after much internal debate, Marinis says, "One morning, I woke up and went to the writer's room and I said, 'It's Monica.' I wanted to see someone die selflessly saving someone else's life, and she was not only saving that little kid on the table, she was saving Jules." Marinis says of reluctantly killing off Natalie Morales' character. "It really speaks to the kind of character Monica was. I didn't want to. It was very difficult. It was very painful. I cried on that phone call. I love working with Natalie Morales. But also, just going through the impact and consequences on Jules and Amelia, that is where we landed." As Variety points out, Monica's death also technically plays into TV's long-standing barrier gaze trope, as romantic tension had been building between Monica and Amelia. Marinis insists it wasn't her intention to go into that trope, but she is aware of it. "What I would say is that I didn't want to lose the character," she adds. "It's where the story was going. Unfortunately, that relationship will not pan out, but it will have an effect on Amelia, and we will be honoring the character. Her death is not just over in Episode 1. We'll also continue to honor that character and honor that community by continuing to have those kinds of relationships depicted on the show." Morales tells THR that she wasn't too surprised when she found out Monica wouldn't survive the blast, adding, "But I was surprised and also excited to have a big, dramatic Grey's death. That seemed fun. I have really enjoyed working with the people on this show, so it's a little bit sad in that sense. Could they have dragged out my death 2 or 3 episodes? Sure. But I understand why they did it, and I think Meg is such a talented writer and showrunner, and I understood the storyline. It made sense to me as somebody who watches the show. When TV Line spoke with Chris Carmack, whose character did survive the explosion, he shared his personal disappointment with the loss of Monica. I loved working with Natalie so much. She's such a light, funny, wonderful, kind, great actress. Link and Beltran don't have an extensive history together on screen, but Natalie made a huge impression in the time that she was working on the show, so it definitely hurt to see that Beltran didn't make it. Grey's fans, how are you feeling about Monica's death now that we've had a night to sleep on it? Do you feel that her passing served a greater purpose, or are you disappointed that we won't get to see Amelia and Monica pursue a relationship? Grade the premiere in our poll below, then drop a comment with your thoughts. Grey's Anatomy EP tells all about Ellen Pompeo's level of involvement in Season 22. As Season 21 of ABC's long-running medical drama Grey's Anatomy crossed the finish line, Ellen Pompeo's Meredith struck a new deal with boss Catherine to spend more time in Seattle, rather than Boston, the city that the MVP now calls home. So what does that mean exactly for fans of the show and its titular heroine? Well, she's definitely splitting her time between Boston and Seattle. But hopefully we'll get to see her in Seattle more, showrunner Meg Marinis tells TV Line. If that dream comes true, we can get to see her in the OR and interacting with our characters more frequently. The twist doesn't suggest a break from the iconic character's groundbreaking story arc of the last few years. We'll still follow her Alzheimer's research, the executive producer promises. But at the beginning of this season, she'll be mostly involved with the direct impact of the Season 21 finale that left Link's fate in limbo and blew up Grey Sloan. What happens to the hospital will be her primary concern. Need a finale recap refresher? Go here. Marinis adds, the more we get Ellen, the happier I am. So if we can get her more, I'd love it. See what else Marinis had to say about the upcoming season and the chaos at Grey Sloan that will meet viewers in the season premiere in our Fall TV Preview 2025. Will Grey's Anatomy return for a record-breaking 23rd season? Here's what we know. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 premiered on October 9th with an action-packed episode. The series is the longest-running medical drama in the U.S. Shonda Rhimes and showrunner Meg Marinis tease plans for the show's future. Ever since the series debuted back in 2005, Grey's Anatomy has captivated and emotionally traumatized viewers with its endearing characters and heartbreaking storylines. In many ways, death has served as a character unto itself. Come to think of it, it might be the most vital character of the entire series, coming for both patients and our beloved doctors in equal measure. Much like in real life, no one's safety is ever guaranteed, which has made for some truly unforgettable television. But what about the fate of the show itself? With Season 22 now underway, Grey's Anatomy continues to hold the record as the longest-running medical drama in U.S. history. But how many more seasons can this show churn out? Will there be a Season 23, or is this ABC series nearing its very own expiration date? Here's everything you need to know thus far about Grey's Anatomy Season 23. Is Grey's Anatomy returning for Season 23? As it stands, ABC has yet to renew the show for another season. However, there's still plenty of time for that to happen. Grey's didn't get picked up for Season 22 until April of this year, which indicates the network may prefer to wait until the end of the current season to make any official decisions about the future. But given how frequently the show has returned 22 times and counting, there's a good chance that pattern will continue, especially considering how game showrunner Meg Marinis is to keep the series going. I hope to be here as long as they'll have me, Marinis admitted during an interview with The Hollywood Reporter in May 2025. I love this show. I love working for Shonda Rhimes. It's home. I'm in it to win it, so let's see how long they can keep us going. I'm here. Meanwhile, Rhimes herself has confessed that she has zero endings in mind when it comes to bringing the show to a close. I mean, literally zero, she told Entertainment Weekly in March 2025. Until Season 8, I still had endings. And by the way, I felt like I ended the series several times. I was like, this could be the finale, this could be it, but it wasn't. So after a while, I just started writing those things that I thought would happen at the end into the show, because it wasn't ending. So if the showrunner and creator of the series are fine with pressing on, that certainly seems to bode well for the show's ongoing existence. What will season 23 be about? Obviously, since the show is yet to get picked up for another season, there's no way of knowing what said season would be about. It would most likely follow the same central doctors it always does, those who survive the current season anyway, and introduce various medical dilemmas from various patients that'll pull at our collective heartstrings. When will season 23 premiere? Without confirmation that another season will happen, there's also no confirmation of any potential premiere date. However, Grey's tends to return in the fall, so an October 2026 debut would be the most likely scenario. Who will return for season 23? One would hope that all of the current characters would make their way back to our favorite Seattle hospital for any future seasons. But as the season 21 finale reminded us, not even the stars of this show are guaranteed safety. So we'll need to finish season 22 before making any assumptions of who will come back or survive for another season. Good luck, docs. Grey's Anatomy season 22 premiere delivers shocking death, and Fallout the season 22 premiere of Grey's Anatomy has arrived. It dealt with the aftermath of last season's explosive finale. The episode, which aired on October 9th, confirmed a major character's death. Dr. Monica Beltran, played by Natalie Morales, succumbed to her injuries. This event sets a dramatic tone for the new season. The storyline continues the show's long tradition of high-stakes medical drama. Cast members teased emotional and rough premiere. Series star Camilla Luddington, who plays Dr. Jo Wilson, hinted at the emotional weight of the premiere. She told E! News she was really dreading filming the episode. The cast recognized the scale of the episode immediately. Luddington described the script as a huge episode. She warned viewers to expect some hard moments. Her character, who is expecting twins, faces a particularly challenging path in the aftermath. Chris Carmack, who plays Atticus Link Lincoln, provided insight into his character's survival. Link sustained critical injuries from the explosion. Carmack told TV Line that Link's recovery will be extensive. His primary focus is now on becoming a new father. The actor explained that Link's identity is shifting toward his family role. This adds a new layer to the character's journey this season. Long-running series continues legacy of shocking moments. This latest tragedy fits within the show's history of memorable and devastating plot twists. From its very first episode, the series has specialized in unexpected turns. The premiere's events continue this two-decade-long tradition. The show has previously featured a hospital shooting and a devastating plane crash. Major character departures, like the deaths of Derek Shepherd and Lexi Gray, have left lasting impacts on the narrative. This new catastrophe ensures the show remains unpredictable. Fans have come to expect high drama from the series. The season 22 premiere delivers exactly that. It proves the show's ability to reinvent conflict for its characters. The Grey's Anatomy season 22 premiere confirms the series remains a powerhouse of dramatic television. Its latest shocking death ensures the storyline will continue to evolve in unexpected ways. Grey's Anatomy star Natalie Morales opens up about season 22 character death. The season 22 premiere of Grey's Anatomy confirmed a major character death. Dr. Monica Beltran, portrayed by Natalie Morales, perished in the hospital explosion that concluded season 21. The episode aired on ABC, delivering a devastating blow to the staff of Grey Sloan Memorial. This dramatic exit resolves a major cliffhanger for the long-running medical drama. According to Deadline, the character was crushed by falling machinery during the catastrophic blast. Natalie Morales reflects on her character's dramatic exit. Natalie Morales admitted she was not entirely surprised by her character's fate. She revealed to Deadline that when producers called to invite her back, she initially thought Dr. Beltran might have already died. Showrunner Meg Marinas then confirmed the planned exit. Morales expressed gratitude for her time on the show. She described the cast and crew as a joy to work with and said she trusted the creative decision. She felt the death, while sad, worked well for the story. Showrunner explains the difficult creative decision. Executive producer Meg Marinas confessed she did not want to kill any character this season. She told Deadline she tried to avoid it during the writing process. However, upon rewatching the season 21 finale, the narrative path became clear. Grey's Anatomy season 22 post-explosion episode 2 promo sees the return of a fan favorite. All is certainly not well at Gray Sloan Memorial in the new season of Grey's Anatomy, which opened with the intense "Only the Strong Survive" episode just yesterday. The premiere episode highlighted the loss of Dr. Monica Beltran, Natalie Morales, who died after being crushed in an equipment collapse due to the explosion caused by the events of the season 21 finale. Because of this, Amelia Shepherd, Katerina Scorsone, wallows in sorrow, thereby prompting an intervention from a familiar face whom fans haven't seen on the medical drama since last year. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 returns with its second episode next Thursday, and in it, Kelly McCreary's Maggie Pierce will make a comeback. Her return was recently teased in a sneak peek, showing her joining Meredith, Ellen Pompeo, in pitching in to care for the grieving Amelia. Die-hard fans of Grey's Anatomy may recall that McCreary first left the show in Season 19 after 9 seasons. She also previously returned briefly for the Season 20 finale on May 30, 2024, to sign divorce papers with her then-husband Winston Dugu Anthony Hill. Titled "We Built This City," Grey's Anatomy's next episode marks the series' 450th and is described as such. The team at Grey Sloan navigates a chaotic first day of surgical rotations amid hospital renovations. Meanwhile, Meredith spends time with Amelia. Speaking of the chaotic day, the new teaser also shows Atticus Lincoln, Chris Carmack, still not entirely in the clear after the near-fatal injuries he sustained in the explosion incident. At the same time, another messy incident of the day reveals a patient dealing with a forklift that pierced his abdomen. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 will feature more familiar faces. All is certainly not well at Grey Sloan Memorial in the new season of Grey's Anatomy, which opened with the intense "Only the Strong Survive" episode just yesterday. The premiere episode highlighted the loss of Dr. Monica Beltran, Natalie Morales, who died after being crushed in an equipment collapse due to the explosion caused by the events of the season 21 finale. Because of this, Amelia Shepherd, Katerina Scorsone, wallows in sorrow, thereby prompting an intervention from a familiar face whom fans haven't seen on the medical drama since last year. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 returns with its second episode next Thursday, and in it, Kelly McCreary's Maggie Pierce will make a comeback. Her return was recently teased in a sneak peek, showing her joining Meredith, Ellen Pompeo, in pitching in to care for the grieving Amelia. Die-hard fans of Grey's Anatomy may recall that McCreary first left the show in Season 19 after 9 seasons. She also previously returned briefly for the Season 20 finale on May 30, 2024, to sign divorce papers with her then-husband Winston Dugu Anthony Hill. Titled "We Built This City," Grey's Anatomy's next episode marks the series' 450th and is described as such. The team at Grey Sloan navigates a chaotic first day of surgical rotations amid hospital renovations. Meanwhile, Meredith spends time with Amelia. Speaking of the chaotic day, the new teaser also shows Atticus Lincoln, Chris Carmack, still not entirely in the clear after the near-fatal injuries he sustained in the explosion incident. At the same time, another messy incident of the day reveals a patient dealing with a forklift that pierced his abdomen. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 will feature more familiar faces. Maggie's McCreary return to Grey's Anatomy is the first of many to come, as showrunner Meg Marinis previously teased that fans should expect some familiar faces to grace the halls of Grey Sloan Memorial in Season 22. It's worth noting that her return coincides with the uncertainty surrounding her ex, Dugu's potential future with Jules Millen, Adeline Kane. The duo has had a very will-there-won't-they type of relationship thus far, but when Monica Morales died after guiding Jules through a surgery post-explosion, Jules rushed into the arms of Dugu, a sign that there's actually a chance for them to act on their chemistry and maybe become a couple finally. Of course, fans will have to wait and find out what lies ahead in their future and how Maggie's return might affect them. Your Grey's Anatomy Season 21 refresher. With heartbreak, weddings, and explosions of both the interpersonal and literal variety, Season 21 of Grey's Anatomy had a little bit of everything and a whole lot of drama. I mean, would you expect anything less? Since it's been a few months, though, since that season went out with a "wait for it, you're welcome" bang, it might be nice to quickly refresh your memory on the biggest storylines the doctors at Grey Sloan Memorial were navigating before we hop into some new ones. At the start of Season 21, nearly everyone was worried about their jobs, or lack thereof. Catherine Fox had completely killed Meredith's Alzheimer's research when she discovered Our Lady Grey went behind her back to continue working on her gut microbiome theory after she was ordered not to, and even went so far as to fire Amelia, Teddy, and Owen for assisting in this endeavor. But they weren't the only ones who got the boot. When Bailey stands up for Lucas Adams, whose entire residency is on the line because of the Sam Sutton debacle, the human pancake with a crush on Joe, you remember, right? Catherine fires Bailey on the spot and informs Lucas that he'll be repeating his intern year while his friends will all be moving up to their second year. Just a real bummer all around. With all that change, would Grace Sloane feel the same? If by the same, you mean very talented doctors running around saving patients, hooking up, and making questionable life choices, then, yes, after some rehiring, things do look very much the same. The interns had much bigger things to worry about than their careers, their love lives. While the career drama at Grey Sloane is very, very real, Season 21 quickly revealed that it was the relationship drama that was going to take center stage, especially when it comes to the interns. Not one of our new Fab Five is spared. Quan's amnesiac ex-fiancée Molly reappears, and they can no longer deny their connection. They hook up in a supply room, as is tradition. Quan can't believe he is getting a second chance, but it implodes almost as quickly as it began when he realizes Molly is most likely with him, only because she thinks it could help her get her memories back, including by way of an experimental brain surgery courtesy of Amelia Shepard. They end things, and Quan becomes a couch slug for a while. Speaking of undeniable connections, Jules and Mika fall for each other, and have pretty electric sex in an on-call room, also a tradition. But complications arise when Mika learns her little sister Chloe has colorectal cancer. She pours herself into helping her sister, and while it's not easy, things do take a turn for the better. That is, until Mika, who has been working and helping Chloe with little to no rest, falls asleep at the wheel while driving them home from the hospital. Chloe dies from her injuries, and a broken Mika can't bear to stay at Grey Sloane any longer. She abruptly leaves and breaks Jules' heart in the process. Not like that's Jules' only romantic entanglement, though. By the end of the season, her cardio mentor Winston Degu admits to having some budding feelings for her. She hasn't said she reciprocates, but we all see what's happening. How can you not? That leaves just Lucas and Simone. With Lucas fighting all season to get his remediation lifted so he can keep his career on track, and Simone continually rising to the occasion and being dubbed the one to watch in her class, there were bound to be problems. It certainly doesn't help that Simone keeps reminding Lucas that his family connections afford him some leeway that others don't have. When Lucas finally impresses Catherine Fox enough with his patient skills and empathy, and she lifts his remediation, he is so excited that he launches into a whole big plan for his and Simone's future together. It's a lot, and Simone is taken aback. She wants to take a breath and not rush into anything. After she rejects Lucas' unbridled optimism for the future a few times, his enthusiasm is overwhelming. Lucas dumps her. He immediately regrets his decision, but it might be too late. An emotionally gutted, drunk Simone finds a random hot guy at Joe's to have sex with, only to discover the guy isn't random at all. He's one of the incoming interns and will be spending a lot of time with her at Grey Sloane. A near-death experience, which we'll get to in a minute, brings Lucas and Simone back together. But that means Simone is going to have to come clean about her very steamy public bathroom sex. The messes the interns create with their love lives have nothing on Teddy and Owen. After being reinstated to their jobs at Grey Sloane, Teddy and Owen realize something's just not right in their relationship. Their therapist suggests opening up their marriage, and wouldn't you know, both of them have developed some feelings for other people. Teddy has the hots for Cass Beckman, a trauma surgeon at Seattle Presbyterian whose own marriage to another Grey Sloane surgeon is also open. They finally have a chance to act on their budding attraction at a medical conference, but Teddy calls the whole thing off before things go too far. She realizes an open marriage will not fix her and Owen. Unfortunately, since he had the green light, Owen uses that same weekend to have sex with Nora Young, a childhood friend of his sister who has been in and out of Grey Sloane with some post-op complications. This situation is ultra-complex because, you guessed it, Nora is Teddy's patient. When Nora gets another infection, it looks like she might not make it, until Teddy literally invents a new type of procedure. She basically builds the woman a new aorta and saves her life with Winston. While Owen swears that he only wants Teddy, the damage has been done. Teddy's seen how close Owen and Nora are, and she decides she is done fighting for their marriage. She's picking herself. Okay, can we talk about at least one happy couple on Grey's Anatomy? Please. Actually, I'll give you two. First, Joe and Link. These two don't have it super easy in season 21. Once Joe tells Link she's pregnant and they're having twins, they are both overwhelmed. Link doesn't know how to help her navigate that, and Joe doesn't know how to let other people help her, so things are rocky for a bit. But once Joe gets held up at a convenience store during a heat dome with Lucas, don't worry, and these two realize what they have is precious. They come to their senses. Schmidt heading off into the Texas sunset with his cute chaplain boyfriend might also have reminded Joe to not take people for granted. By the end of the season, they plan their wedding in 4 days. Link sings his vows to Joe, and they learn they're having twin girls. There's a lot going on with these two. Everything is perfect, and nothing at all can ruin it. You hear me, Grace? Nothing can ruin this. The second happy couple? Meredith and Nick. Meredith eventually makes nice with Catherine after saving her life when they discover some masses on her liver, and she almost dies during the biopsy. She's still living with cancer, but Meredith is keeping close tabs on her. Of course, Meredith being Catherine's secret doctor almost ruins her relationship with Weber for good, but they find themselves back on the same team, as they always do. Still, Catherine has handed over Meredith's research to Tom Korosik, which means Meredith is on her own if she wants to keep her study going. She and Amelia lose a prestigious grant to Tom, but it pushes Meredith to go independent. She's going to fund her own research. First, she decides to sell her remaining shares of Grey Sloan. This too upsets Weber, but Meredith explains that Grey Sloan will always be a part of her. She's selling her shares, but she also wants to come back and operate more. She makes a plan to return to Seattle with the whole family every summer to work at the hospital. She also finds another investor to push her research along, Nick Marsh. Oh, Nick is just so in love, isn't he? He says he'll always bet on her, and both of them are vocal about never wanting to imagine life without the other, the stuff healthy adult relationships are made of. Bailey starts the season unemployed, then ends it that way. While Bailey handily wins her job back by becoming an integral part of Catherine's care team, Ben, who has returned to Grey Sloan to try to earn his long-abandoned residency spot back, has a much rockier road to travel. Our favorite anesthesiologist turned surgical resident turned firefighter rubs a lot of the doctors the wrong way. He's constantly making choices and judgment calls with patients that someone in his very tenuous position shouldn't be making. After a huge blow-up with Teddy during the heat dome over how to handle the influx of patients, she decides she will not give him a permanent spot in the residency program. He'll have to find somewhere else to start over. Or I guess start over again, technically. An explosion. Of course, there is an explosion. Just when you're thinking, hasn't everyone who works at Grey Sloan been through enough this season? The Grey's Anatomy writers said, that's so cute. Here's a 3-part arc starring an increasingly unhinged Piper Perabo that ends in a deadly chemical explosion. Enjoy. But this is why we love this show, right? The never-ending pain. Whoops, I mean drama. Perabo plays Jenna Gatlin, mother to 9-year-old Dylan, an adventurous young girl who comes under Monica Beltran's service for a broken arm, but they soon discover she also has a cavernous angioma in her brainstem. It's benign, but it needs to be resected, and it's basically in the most complicated part of the brain to cut into. Never fear, Amelia Shepard has been taking on seemingly impossible tumors for most of the season. To her credit, she makes sure that Jenna and her husband, Aaron, understand that there are a lot of risks with this surgery, but if they don't do it, Dylan has, at best, 5 to 10 years. There's some bleeding during surgery, but for the most part, everyone feels good about it. Not long afterward, however, things go downhill quickly. They diagnose Dylan with locked-in syndrome. She's conscious, but she is unable to move or communicate except by blinking. Eventually, she can't even do that. It's terrifying and gut-wrenching, and the more Jenna is told to wait and see what happens, the angrier and more desperate she gets. In the season finale, Jenna grabs a tank of acetylene from Aaron's truck and holds Amelia, Simone, and Lucas hostage until Amelia tries to operate on Dylan again. If anyone tries to leave or anything bad happens to Dylan, she'll ignite the gas and blow up the hospital. It's a team effort, including an assist from Meredith. That's my family in their gray. to make sure everyone gets out of this hostage situation alive. Amelia is able to stop some of the bleeding and swelling that was going on in Dylan's brain, although we still don't know if it makes any difference, and it satisfies Jenna enough that she falls to her knees and sobs. It's over. She tells them the tank was empty the whole time, she never wanted to hurt anyone, and she's hauled off by the police. Everything's cool, right? Wrong. When Amelia informs Aaron of all this, he's confused. He doesn't have any empty tanks in his truck. They realize the tank was full, and Jenna was accidentally leaking the gas out the entire time. The entire floor is probably full of acetylene. But it's too late to inform everyone to evacuate, which means everyone nearby, including Beltran, Jules, Bailey, Lucas, and Weber, are all in the blast zone when Link begins a knee replacement surgery by firing up the cautery, and the entire thing goes boom. And that's the nightmare we've all been living with for this entire hiatus. The Season 22 premiere can't come soon enough. Jesse Williams feels like he's just getting started. My career is just beginning because I was only on one show for a decade, said the longtime Grey's Anatomy actor, now starring in Hotel Costera. Jesse Williams hopes you'll get to know him. Not as Dr. Jackson Avery in Grey's Anatomy, or the gay baseball superstar in Take Me Out on Broadway, but rather his lighthearted, physically playful alter ego in the Prime Video action series, Hotel Costera. As Daniel DeLuca, Williams is a former Marine at a crossroads who returns to his childhood home in Italy and becomes a fixer at an opulent resort on the Amalfi Coast. He chose the sunlit Hotel Costera to offset the earnestness he projected after years as an activist and educator, which he sensed overshadowed the Monty Python-loving cut-up yearning to break through. I feel like my career is just beginning because I was only on one show for a decade, and I started when I was almost 30, said Williams, now 45. I'm excited to be able to share this with the world and kind of introduce myself to the audience for the first time, he added in a video interview, before talking about watching movies at home, sailing in his 20s, and reading Tennessee Williams for the first time. These are edited excerpts from the conversation. My kids. I have an 11-and-a-half-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son, and I am a super hands-on dad. But what I do for a living pulls me out of the home. It's brutal. Thank God for FaceTime and WhatsApp video and being able to do homework and a bedtime story and just be present. My sleep mask. If I'm at the beach, I can sleep in the sun, no problem. But if I'm trying to get quality sleep, I like it to be dark. Now they make these sleep masks that create a little pocket for your eye so you don't have the pressure. But what I really like is the pressure. I like that it's like swaddling my eyeballs. My pocket planner. I'm born in 1980. I'm a tactile, pre-digital person. A lot of things have to be online, of course, but I'm a creative, so it's more real for me to make a list, think on my feet, note it down, and be able to check and reference it. My phone doesn't feel as warm and nice. Maine. Maine is the most wonderful place in the world to me, and it's about my mother's family of boat builders and sea captains. My great-grandfather got a plot of land on the coast and handed that down to his son, and my grandfather handed it down to his 7 children, and they all had to build a cabin to claim a piece of land. So we have these little narrow sliver coves. It's a paradise, but practical, tactical, hands-on, hard-fought. Sailing. I did a sailing trip with my high school best friend and another friend in my early 20s. We sailed a 30-foot sloop from Providence up to almost Nova Scotia, 5 or 6 days without touching land. Whales, sharks, dolphins, sunrise, sunset, moonrise, and real storms, big 12-, 14-, 15-foot waves. Having to buckle into the mast, full rain gear. Dangerous. That was certainly a pivotal experience for me as a young man, and the culmination of my reverence for the ocean. Barefoot in the grass. I love to be in nature, and particularly I love to be barefoot. I come in my house, and immediately the shoes and socks come off. Maybe the rest of my clothes come off too. Cherries. They're refreshing and hydrating and just feel alive. I've got a little station and I'm spitting the pits out while I'm watching something. There's a touch of activity to it. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. A good Italian red. I don't really drink hard alcohol, and I'm not a recreational beer drinker. But I love a nice Barolo or Brunello or Barbera d'Asti. It probably helps that it's got a heritage and craftsmanship to it, that it was forged and not a cheap throwaway chemical thing. Movie libraries. I'm sure many actors or people in the business cite Criterion, but I like all the libraries. HBO's got a good one and Prime's got a good one. Taking in cinema, reading a play, these things, they do inform my process. They do inform what I do for a living, but they fill my soul at the same time. Reading plays. I didn't really start reading plays until I started doing theater. I lived in New York for almost a decade. Didn't really go to Broadway, couldn't afford it, but also acting wasn't a thing at that stage. So I'm doing my Theater 101 now. I'm reading Tennessee